Hey traders, I want to get into just a bit of a market update for you guys to have a bit of a wrap around what I see happening in the markets right now, and a bit of an update across all the markets for you guys. So right now, guys, we're getting towards the end of June, and I believe we're going to possibly start to see a bit of a drop in the markets, guys. Just a bit of a short-term drop. We're in a very, very, very big bull market, so I do see a lot more upside to come, but we may be getting ready for more downs, a bit more of a short-term drop out of the markets. Actually, yeah, before I do get into that, guys, keep an eye on BRKB because we may be getting ready for another move to the upside. Here's just one stock that I was just looking at, and so when I click the recorder, it's on here right now. I've got a bunch of watch list of stocks that I actually use in my trading setup that I use. So that first thing in the description there, guys, you can grab access to my free trading course, and I'll teach you my system for free. And plus, I give you there's about 6 or 7 videos in there that teach you about the markets there, but. Looking at BRKB, guys, there could be something really nice coming up with BRKB, and the reason why, guys, is if you understand, like with your trading, I'm always trying to get in at times when the market's likely to have a move, right? A lot of the times we go through these different phases of what's called price and time, and so a price move is when the market has a strong move up, like through here. See how we had a strong move up? And then what happens, that's a strong move up. And then we go through a price phase, which is an energy using phase. And then we go through, then we go through a phase where the market becomes very volatile, very choppy. This is the worst time to be trying to trade any market out there. So if you ever try to trade or try to get into a market when the market's not doing much, it can be very, you can get chopped out a lot. What I like to do is I like to wait for the next move up like that. For it to tell me that we are now likely to start to see another move to the upside. So looking at, so that's obviously BRKB, guys. Keep an eye on that, guys. We may be getting ready for a breakout to the upside coming soon. And if we do, we could be getting ready for another leg to the upside, especially looking at this here, guys. And that weekly chart is really, really, really nice as well too. So bit of a gift for you guys. And once again, traders, if you do want to learn how to, I give my trading system away for free in my full complete course. Link in the description there, guys. So looking at the Nasdaq obviously hit resistance levels as we can see up here. So man, that looks really weird, doesn't it? Okay, so look at this here. So looking at the Nasdaq obviously hit hit a level of resistance where we are right now, and we had a bit of a pullback where we are. So looking at, we're still above the 9 moving average. So we're not out of the woodwork. We still can continue this up leg here. Okay, we still can continue this up leg and see where the 9 moving average is. It's a bit of a do or die for the Nasdaq. I was talking about this with my clients today, and it's a bit of a do or die for the Nasdaq right now. So looking at this level here, as you can see, right. I like to use, whenever we do get bars like this, I like to use this sort of like the mid-range of the bar. If we do get a down bar like that tomorrow or like into next week, then we're probably going to continue this down leg through here. I actually do believe we're likely to see at least a bit of a weak July anyway, because I really do see really big moves, like big moves to the upside coming in the second half of this year, but for that to happen, right, we would need to see a good drop in the markets, maybe a 5% or so drop in the markets before we see this big move to the upside come. So that's what I'm seeing through there on the good old Nasdaq. If I go look at, let's actually bring up this chart here, or this one here, and let's actually squeeze our charts right up a bit. I want to share something with you here. Sometimes traders, whenever I'm trying to read the charts, I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I was starting out my trading career, I would always focus too much on the short-term sort of bar analysis and stuff like that, and so I'd always focus on that. And I think that a lot of the times if we see how I've squeezed it up here, I'm not trying to look at the individual candlesticks. I'm trying to see where is the flow of this market. Because if I know how markets work, right, we go up for a while, and after a period of time, the market's going to get tired, and then we're going to go through a drop, and then we're going to pick back up again. We're going to go for another leg up, and then we might go sideways for a bit, something like this, and back up. So as I'm looking at these flows, see how I'm doing it through there? Up, right. I'm seeing the flow of the market to see where are we in the overall big picture. See, are we likely to go through one of these periods through here, right? Before we continue up. And right now, we may be getting ready for that. So looking at the Dow Jones right now, traders, is still in a very big, strong bull market. Okay, very, 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 very big, strong bull market. We have a low through here. We have a higher low, and now we have another higher low through here. So we also had a bit of a low point there, but higher low, higher low. So right now, even though the Dow Jones is overall sideways, we're still making higher lows, and that's the most important part to an upward trend. As long as we continue making these higher lows, we're actually still in a very big, strong bull market in the Dow Jones. So nothing has changed from there. Let's look at the Russell. And that's the same for the Russell, right? So if we have a look at the Russell, we can see that we have this low point through here. We had a higher low. So whenever you're looking at a stock whenever you're looking at a stock, guys, if your stock is making higher lows, and we could be making another high low here on the Russell right now, we don't know yet. If it's making these high lows, then the buyers are more in control, right? Even though we do have these big drops through here, here, and here, like that's an upward trend is what? Higher low, you know what I'm talking about here, right? So we are actually in an upward trend. We are in more of a buying mode when it comes to the Russell here. We are making higher lows. So I'm really seeing if we do get something like that going on, guys, coming into next week, then maybe some of the indices like the Russell, maybe the stock S&P 500 and the Nasdaq are going to start to pull back. And if that's the case, then maybe, just maybe, the Russell is going to pick back up, right? So we could be getting this whole motion through here of that happening from there. So that's what's happening there on the Russell there, guys. Really, really, really interesting point through there. So just rule number one for me, guys, is the trend analysis. And so the big thing for me, guys, is when I'm always looking at the markets, I want to be going with the market, right? Because the big money is made when we go with the overall market, with the trend. And so right now, the trend is still up on that point from there. Looking at, this is the Nasdaq 100. We had this bounce off this level here, and now we had this very big move up. Looks like we may be, and this is where, guys, like, I wouldn't want to go short the market right now because we're in a very strong bull market. This thing could keep going up for another week, right? We just never know. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is that if we have a look at the 9 moving average, look at this here. We're just sort of flattening out, aren't we? Like, is this going to be the end of this move or not? Are we going to start to see a bit of a pullback? I don't know yet, but what I do say is that I wouldn't want to short this market right now. I'd rather be long, which I actually am. I am still long in this market. And we've had a very big, because this may just be, because this is where, like, I think if people try to pick tops in the markets, and it's tempting, right? I know traders, like, it's tempting. It's like, oh, if I get in now, I can get in at the top and I can ride this move down. It's like, oh man, is this going to be the top, right? It's like, remember this, see this move all through here? What is that? Like, what is that, right? That is what? Sideways, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then we go through there, right? And so, like, right now, are we about to get maybe another higher low before we go for another move to the upside? Like, we don't know, right? So don't be trying to short the markets right now. You may get it, and even if you do get it right, it may only be very short-lived, right? We only may get something like that for a week or two and then continue back up again. So I wouldn't want to be short the market right now, which I'm not. And again, this big bull market is still a very big bull market. So trying to go against this market, guys, we still can have a lot more upside to come out of this market from here. So don't be short in this market right now, guys. It's very, very, very risky. Just go with the markets, right? Go with the markets from there. And looking at the S&P 500, same sort of thing, right? We had this low point from here, and I'm just trying to get that point from there to there. So that would be something like that from there to there, I would say. That low point there, that low point there. It's actually a bit of a channel here, right, on the S&P 500. Let's actually do this here. Oh, there you go. So there's a bit of a channel that the S&P 500 is in right now. So we may get a bit of a pausing pattern here or something like that. So we'll see what actually happens with the S&P 500. But we are in a bit of a strong channel from here, as you can see, from there to there. So we may be getting a bit of a pausing pattern here. But again, guys, don't be trying to short this market right now. It's definitely not worth it. Going long right now is also very risky as well too, right? Because we've already made a big move. Remember I said before at the start of this video, I think it was BRKB. I think that was the code of that stock, right? You want to wait for this pullback first and then jump in on the next leg, right? You want to jump in on the next legs. You want to wait for that here. You want to wait for that in the markets there. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys, on this stock market. Let's go look at the silver and gold markets from here. And silver is very, very volatile. Now, I want to teach you something, guys, about the different phases in these markets. For me personally, I stay away from what's called a time phase. And a time phase is when the market is either going through, if you have a big bull market, like we're actually in a very big bull market on silver right now, we can see how that, right, we go up, and then you might, then you might get a bit of a gyrations come up through, up, right? Then you might get like a bit of sideways period, and then we go up. So after a period of time, when we go up and we go through these periods through here, it can be quite volatile, right? And as you can see, we're just getting these periods here. So in a very big bull market, which is low, higher low, and a higher low, if we're getting that, which we are, one, trying to go short this market right now is very, very, very risky. But also trying to trade this time right now is very, very, very risky as well too. If you're trading the markets, that is, right, when you're trading the markets. And the reason why is because in those times here, you get a lot of in what's called these counter trends or these time phases, which is this point through here, which these are just what's called time phases, which is just when the market's just having a bit of a rest for a while. It can be quite volatile. So if we zoom right in now, look at this here, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So for me, I stay away, I step aside, and I don't trade these periods through here. What I do trade is I like to then, after this is finished, when this market finishes, I then like to try to trade when the market's getting ready for another move again. So I would want to see this thing start to back up like that there before I actually start to get involved with silver from a trading perspective. That is as well too. So try to stay away, guys, from those. No matter what stock, if the stock is in these one of these time phases for me, it's probably not a good idea to be in it. I like to be getting into something, guys, when the market's likely to make that next move up, right? That's very, 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 very important from there. So for me personally, I wouldn't want to be trying to touch that from there. Looking at the gold market as well. And as you can see, guys, gold is just pretty much just been sideways overall. Big sell-off. Lots of weakness in gold and silver today. And I believe there's a lot more to come, right? So big drop in gold and silver. And I believe there's a lot more to come out of the markets. But it's going to be very, very, very short-lived, I believe. Expect a lot more downside to come because I believe it's going to be very short-lived. I believe, by looking at these markets here, I believe we're likely to get something like this coming. So lots of weakness in gold and silver, but I believe this is going to be more like a bit of a slingshot type of a move, right? And what I mean by that is that when the market goes down, I believe that's going to create something like that, which is then going to send us up to 3,000, 3K up here. So for you guys on the short-term level, you guys are watching, see what I'm doing? I'm stepping back from afar, and gold actually, and the reason why I'm saying this is because gold actually likes to do this before it makes big moves, right? Look at this here. See that major level of support through there? What happened? We flushed down, and then we had a nice move up. Look what happened here. We flushed down past the support level before we had another move up. So gold actually likes to do this a lot. So I personally, for me trading, if the market does sell off next week and we have a strong move on the downside, I personally, for me, would not be freaking out because I'm expecting that to happen. But secondly, I'm watching to see, does it turn around? Because if we do start to get bars like this, right? We get the bar like that, and then we get a bar like that, and then we get a bar like that going on, then guess what? That's probably going to be a good long opportunity for me in the market, because we may then get a little bit of a pullback, and then we're probably going to start to see this thing have a really big move up. So I'm waiting to see this type of a flush down and a flush back up from there. So there we go, traders. Hope this helps you out. If you would like to apply for my 6-month intensive coaching program where you're with me every day for the next 6 months, coach you and helping you, intensive 6-month coaching program, then that second link in the description there, guys. You can apply for that. Speak to you guys soon.